Any What's up, comic book fans? Pete here from Comic Books Transformed, where me and my good friend Brian over there discuss comic books that have adapted into movies and streaming shows. Brian, we're up to episode 302 of our show, and we're going to talk about The Boys. Not the Gen V, season 2, episodes 7 and 8. I tried, Brian. I tried.
That's all right. That's okay. We'll get the mistake out of the way in the beginning, and then we won't make another one the entire time.
It's gonna be spotless, spotless. So, we've kind of brushed through this, or like driven through this show this season very quickly. There's been gaps between recordings, but we've just kind of done them in like bunches. We're gonna do these last two now. I gotta say that I liked this season more than the first season. What about you?
100% agree. Yeah. Although I think it looks like people were more interested in season 1. I think it got more views or ratings, better ratings.
Yeah.
Not that I've seen anything. I feel like I saw more about the show during season 1 rather than season 2. Like I don't see any chatter about this show anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah. I do my Pete on the Street questions, and it's kind of like a roll of the dice, and I'm not sure what's going to get a big response and what's not. And this show actually did get a response. I did a question of like who's going to make it from this show into season 5 of The Boys, and some people said stuff. Someone did say that like the show was like kind of boring for them. They weren't really interested in it, but other people were like, yeah, Marie's going to be in season 5 of The Boys. Were you surprised? Spoilers for episode 7 and 8 of Gen V. Were you surprised that Homelander didn't show up?
No, I wasn't. He showed up in the finale last season, so I think to have him do it again, it would have been too repetitive. I liked that they showed other people, although the thing I kept thinking about is that we know that Stan Edgar showed up in episode 5 or 6, 5 and 6, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah.
Fucked up somewhere. We don't know.
It's kind of like the way that Giancarlo Esposito is in Captain America: Brave New World too.
Yeah. I mean, with that's actually a really good point. So we know that with Brave New World, he was added in reshoots,
right?
And he replaced some of the other Serpent Society members and maybe some other characters too. I wonder if he wasn't originally in it. I don't think they filmed that much before, Chance Perdomo passed away. So I can't imagine that they would have had to rewrite anything around that. But it's definitely seems like he was only around for a very limited amount of time, and they only squeezed him into that, essentially one episode, and the cameo in the other one maybe. But it was a little weird that he said basically he wanted to help Marie or potentially use Marie, and then in a second he heard about Thomas Godolkin being alive. He said, "Oh, I'd rather do that," and then he just walks off, and then we don't see him again.
I'm trying to think of the purpose that he served. Like I think he just kind of served the purpose of like giving them backstory, right? Like he gave them backstory on Godolkin. That's pretty much what he did.
I think they got a little expedition dump. They did get kind of like safe passage to his little bunker somewhere.
Yeah.
To get them out of immediate danger, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it was a worthless cameo or anything like that.
No.
But I do wish that they kind of wrapped that up a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see it wrapped up in The Boys, but again, that's like, it's just much like the MCU is doing extra homework. Like how many people just watch The Boys, don't watch the show, aren't interested, whatever.
Right.
And they're gonna fill in a lot of plot. Have to fill in a lot of plot holes, if you haven't watched this show.
Yeah. It's a really good point. I mean, one of the little details I liked was actually something that kind of reminded me of the MCU. There was a part in the last episode where they were talking about Thomas Godolkin, and they were talking about how he doesn't age. And they said that like he had this special type of V, which is what kept him from aging. And they specifically said it's the type of V that Stormfront and Soldier Boy had, which are two characters that are still young, even though they were around like during like, I don't know, like World War II or something. And like I like that because it kind of reminded me of like the Thunderbolts when they were talking about the different versions of the super soldier serum.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
um, I thought that you would because we started to talk about the idea of Thomas Godolkin being like Apocalypse basically because he wants like the most superior of the soups to take over and he wants to cull the herd and it's very like Apocalypse type of dialogue or ideology. Don't you feel like when he was walking on the campus and he had that little cape behind him, it was kind of a purplish bluish cape? You think they were trying to do a little Apocalypse reference there?
Yeah, I definitely got vibes. I mean, obviously the ideology is very Apocalypse, but I more so got vibes of a reverse Professor X and Magneto, where
Mm.
he's the evil Professor X and Polarity is good Magneto, sort of.
Yes, yes.
Especially there was that one scene, that one fight there in the 8th episode. I'm like, what? This is exactly that, but the
Yep.
boys version, you know.
Yes, yes. And this isn't a spoiler. It's not jumping all the way to the end, but I feel like Polarity was the fucking standout star of this season.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah, he stepped up big. I mean, he seemed to have grown a lot as a character.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, especially that last scene that he has with Emma. No, not Emma. Here we go. We forgot something already.
Yes,
Is it
yes,
Emma?
yes. Are you talking about Sister
Little
Sage
Cricket.
or?
Little Cricket.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Um,
What?
yeah.
You're talking about with Polarity and Sister. I mean, and Emma. Yeah.
Yes, yes. They had that little kind of. Yeah, it is Emma. No. Yes,
Yeah, her
Emma.
name's
It is
Emma.
Emma. I
Yeah.
was right. Okay, I feel better. So
Yeah.
we didn't mess up. I just thought I did.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it was
you
like
know
that
what?
little.
Go
Okay.
ahead. No. You keep going.
Yeah, there was that little kind of goodbye there, saying that like she thanked him and for his help, and he thanked her for kind of getting him back on track and all that. It almost felt it kind of felt like I don't know, like she was like almost like Kitty Pryde in a way, and like
Yep.
with
Yep.
like with one of her various mentors, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great comparison there. And yeah, that was one of the highlights of the show, their relationship. Because they kind of have like a few misadventures in the beginning of the season, then they're not together, and then they have that little ending there. Yeah, really great stuff. She's one of my favorite characters on the show, too.
Yeah, although I gotta say I don't dislike anybody. I mean, out
Yeah.
of the main cast. I mean, obviously some of the bad guys you don't like, obviously, but
Yes, and I want to talk about Cypher, just in general, Hamish Linklater. I want to talk about him, but you just reminded me that there's one thing we should correct. There's one thing that we kind of got incorrect last time we did a recording. We said that, what do you call it? That the sister, Marie's sister, we said that, well, I said it. And you're like, hey, that's a good point. Was that like she took the blood from her friends to like give a transfusion, and then that's how she got soup powers? But they're making it like she was always a soup.
yeah, she always had it, but she hid it. Yeah, and her power wasn't that strong or noticeable, so she was able to hide it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of positive things at the end of this episode, and there was a moment of this season. There was a moment where they could have killed off one of the main characters, and it would have been really upsetting, but then they didn't. And so I like how positive it was, especially the very last scene was like, yeah, let's fucking go. But before we get to that, let's talk about Hamish Linklater as Cypher, as like the vessel for Godolkin.
Yes. So a lot of people figured it out. You definitely were 100% in that camp, but I was maybe like a little less 100% on it because I thought it was too obvious. But yeah, Cypher was really Thomas Godolkin controlling some random human person, which makes sense because he had human blood. That Marie didn't sense any vegan's blood, and his powers seemed to not work as well through a vessel, sort of. But yes, the main reason this season was so electric was Hamish Linklater. He was fantastic, and I almost feel bad for the actor that had to play Godolkin after to follow that up. It kind of sucks that he's gone, like literally gone now.
Yeah,
Hamish Linklater, because his human what was his name, Doug, was killed in the final episode there. So, but yeah, he was a fantastic villain. He really made the show, and without him in that role there, I think you would have scrutinized the plot a little more. I think because there's a lot of back and forth that seems like hard to swallow. Like, oh, like they're on the run from these people, and oh, we're gonna go back to school, and oh, the guy at school's trying to kill me, but we're gonna stay at school.
Right,
I
right.
think because he was so good, you kind of overlook that stuff, and it just seems to make more sense because like he was so believable, and in a way, not unstable, but he was a mystery. He really was. Like you really didn't know what he was trying to do. From the character's point of view, anyway, we knew that he was gonna call the soups, but
Yeah.
I believe that they wouldn't really understand what he was trying to do.
Yeah. And it's kind of amazing just how the look of an actor can change how you feel about the character, right? Because Hamish Linklater plays Godolkin, but he's in this body, and then whatever the name of the other actor is, he played Godolkin like sort of like reborn, and they did use the same kind of mannerisms, and they did kind of talk in a very similar way, but there's such a dramatic difference between the two, and I feel like Hamish Linklater was so much more threatening and intimidating, whereas he's playing the exact same character as the other guy, and the other guy, he had this like look about him, which was so interesting because he kind of looked like a little boy, even though he's like an old man, and he definitely looked like he was of that time. Like he looked like he was from the. Go ahead.
I thought he looked like so the actor's name is Ethan Slater, and I don't think he necessarily did a bad job or anything like that. It's just I
Right.
think it was just going to be an impossible act to follow, really.
Right. Right.
So, but to me, there was he looks like some '80s singer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, oh God, I'm gonna have to look this up on the side because I don't remember what song it is, but there was this one very particular singer who was like a one hit wonder, and he looked sort of like that to me.
I eagerly look forward to your text, like in 20 minutes after our recording. We're like, oh, I found the song.
Yeah,
and you're gonna send it to me. But like, I don't know. It's just his plan. It's not any kind of like novel plan that you've never heard of. It's basically like a superpowered person being like, only the most elite should rule or should be in power. Nothing new there. It's very common X-Men stuff, but it just sort of worked so much better than the plot of the first season because it takes this concept of this campus where the show really loves to put in your face, especially in the beginning of a season. Like, look how degenerate everyone is. Look at all this crazy stuff that they do because they have powers. Look how like unempathetic they are. And then at the very end, it's kind of like, well, now we're going to get rid of the ones that aren't living to their fullest potential. And I really like that. It's kind of the poster boy. The example they use is that guy that like can roofie people. The one that can, and I don't know if he died. They showed a bunch of people dead at one point, but I don't think they showed him.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I also absolutely loved that scene.
Yes.
That when he brought everybody back up to do that like dance sequence, and they all were all bloody and broken or possibly dead.
Right. Yeah, it's so cool, and it's like he just basically would have like a new class come in, he'd have the older class fight the new class, and you just basically like just weed them out until like people are dead. I thought it was great. I mean, there's so much to unpack with all that. We should talk about Sister Sage too, but I just wanted to talk about the depravity in the show. I know I'm like all over the place with this review, but it's just like things that keep popping into my head. At one point, I was texting with someone when I was watching episode 7, and I was like, I just watched a grown man climb out of the asshole of another man. And it's amazing how frequently they use the guy who could shove things up his asshole. Like, they used him so much in this season, it's ridiculous.
Yes. It's certainly a unique idea for a power.
Yes.
And yeah, they definitely used it to the fullest. Without going that one extra mile that you almost expect from them, which is showing the view from the inside.
Yes, yes, yes. Luckily, but like, they showed him at one point, like where a guy poked his head out of this guy's asshole, like a couple of episodes ago when like Sam was fighting the other guy, and I was like, oh, this is just some kind of kinky sex thing. But it's like, no, no, it's actually a plot point. It's used in the
Actually, a plot
plan at the.
device. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, I mean, that might have been the biggest sort of like what the fuck moment of the season was in episode 7 when like one of the pledges comes out of his asshole, and then he's just basically with Sam for the rest of the episode. But then, like when they showed him show up in the class in that training hall or whatever, and he's there, and he was like reluctant to go at first. I'm like, oh, okay, that's because like everyone is inside of his asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how this works with like YouTube. I mean, we never get fucking monetized, but like, I wonder if like just saying this stuff is gonna get some kind of red flag put on
the show. It's not like we're just saying this stuff randomly. Like this literally happened in the thing we're talking about.
I know. Did it like Jordan use his fucking powers or her powers to like blast people out of that guy's asshole at one point?
So yes, there was some kind of blast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he had like 9 people up his ass.
Yes, basically the entire group of heroes was in there, minus Marie.
Yeah, like when I told that person that what I had just seen, they're like, "Are you high?" And then I was thinking about how like I was just watching the finale now, like an hour before you and I recorded, and it's like, okay, there's a girl that is holding down this guy with her pubic hair, and this is after a team of characters just shot out of a guy's asshole.
Yes. I also I'm happy to kind of see those weird powers in action and being useful. It does sort of remind me of New X-Men
or Ecstatics.
No, well, yeah, Ecstatics too. Even more so, like the group that was, in like Zorn's class, like Beak and Angel and Blob
Herman.
Always like these powers that don't seem useful or kind of weird and not very stylish.
Yeah,
I like that they have those things and they use them, and it's just really. I said this last week too. I mean, this really was the boys' version of X-Men, and we knew that going in. But I think now the show did a better job of doing it than the comic did.
Yes, yes, yes. So, like in the comic, though, are they at a school? Like, is it called Godolkin and stuff, or no?
Yeah, yeah. It's called God U. They're not called the Guardians of the Godolkin. They are the G-Men. Thomas Godolkin is there and alive. He's not like dead or some ancient person from the past. And all I really remember about it, because it's been a while since I've read it, is that Huey goes undercover at like a frat house, one of like the lesser frat houses, to kind of investigate what's going on there. And it's like they have all the different houses, houses that are almost like different little sub-level teams of the X-Men, and they're all the parodies they have there. That we talked about that Dog Knot. That was Wolverine. There was a guy that he had like a visor and like a police helmet. His name was like 5-0 or something like that. So and I'm pretty sure there was that character's or an analogy to that character in this episode. There's just some blue laser blasts going around during that one of those fight scenes.
Oh, Cyclops. Yeah.
So
yeah.
But ultimately, I think they were just infiltrating there to see what was going on. They found out whatever it was, and there was just like this giant battle at the end with the boys fighting against the G-Men. But again, the big difference between the boys and the TV show and the comic is that all of the boys have V.
Right.
So they're all super strong and indestructible and all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite a world, considering that like Garth Ennis made it, and I think he probably kind of made it as like a joke. It's like a world that a lot of people are fully invested in. I mean, certainly American culture is excited by Homelander, or like they like Homelander. I think that like the way that Anthony Starr, right? Like I think that there's something special about him, and then like in that role, there's something very special. So like, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was gonna say they absolutely nailed that casting.
100%.
Yeah,
and so one of the things that kind of threw me off a little bit, but it like I don't know how to explain this. Like I feel like for a standalone show, it's kind of annoying for them to keep being like Homelander, Homelander. It's almost like they're talking about the Emperor in Star Wars before the Emperor shows up. But then when you think of it as like this part of a bigger picture and that all this stuff going on with the boys, then it gets kind of exciting to think that Homelander is involved. And I like that he was like calling Sister Sage at one point. He's on her phone. I wanted to kind of just talk about all the Sister Sage stuff with you in that last episode too. Like, what'd you think about that?
Yeah, so I mean, we know the Sister Sage has a plan. I don't exactly remember what it was from the end of the season for the boys, but she can see things in ways that other people can't, and she has this big grand plan. She saw Godolkin as part of that plan there. I think I'm not sure if she wanted to use Godolkin to control Homelander. I think she was against that. So I'm not exactly sure how she was going to find this useful, because she basically invites him to live in the Vought Tower, which is kind of like a weird thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But they have to like be careful about Homelander not upsetting Homelander, which I believe is true. But I don't see what part of her plan that he fit into, really. Like, I can understand Stan Edgar's point of view. Like, he wanted to, he thought that Godolkin would have the secrets to controlling or defeating Homelander. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it seems like Sage wants to work with Homelander, I think.
Yeah. Well, in this last episode, she does say something like our plan. Like she accentuates it where she's like our plan that we came up with together. And then he says my plan, like as if he's like come up with a new plan. So I mean there was something, and she's saying they're in like phase 2 of the plan. I guess that involves like the Supes taking over the government.
I would say that.
Yeah, he kind of has a more individualized plan that involved Marie and like Odessa, right? But what I really, really liked in their interactions, like especially in this scene that we're talking about, is that he kind of gives like a breakdown of the characters that are in the Seven. He says like he calls like the Deep like a dolphin fucker. He says the Firecracker is like a gun show lunatic or something like that. And then he says that Homelander is so weak, and that because Homelander can't have any competition, that's why you have all these sort of mediocre Supes around. And I thought that was really, I just really love that perspective,
Yeah, it also seems like an analogy for something in real life.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good there. So, but I still don't know how that fits together. But I do agree that the plan was, her plan was probably something about the Supes taking over the government. And then I think his individual plan was just about really strengthening the race, which is like a, really another form of Nazism in a way.
Yeah. I mean, no, people's assholes, and we're talking about Nazism. Can you still hear me, by the way?
You did cut out a little bit there, so I think your mic is on that thing there.
Oh yeah,
but you can hear now.
Okay. Yeah, like your audio was starting to like get all buzzy and stuff, so I took off my headphones. I don't know. We'll see if that works. But what I was gonna say was that like, Nazism is kind of like an inherent thing with the X-Men concept, with the idea of like superpowered people just sort of being part of the population. It's not like an accident or some kind of magical power, but when it's like it's a whole race of people, the Nazi shit always comes in because there's the idea of like one race is superior to the other,
Yes,
and one of my favorite things in The Boys and in this is when you have characters that are serious and not jokes, and they might be Supes. Kind of like I like Sister Sage, Victoria Newman, right? That was the one that could make people's heads go up.
Yep.
I like her, Sister Sage. I like when they're not jokes and they just kind of like playing the game,
Yeah, no, those are the best kind of villains. The ones that aren't just like the either jokes or just completely mustache twirling villains. They have an agenda. They believe their ideology. Those are the strengths of a good villain to me.
Yeah. So we had like, at least one of those who was like the main villain of this season, and then the heroes just in general, I don't know. I like them a lot more. It's interesting because like there's so many female members of the cast, right? There's barely any guy characters.
Yeah, and one of those is split time because the one character changes gender. Yeah, I thought that a lot. That you felt that a lot with the without Chance Perdomo in the cast anymore. That really Sam and half of Jordan were the main male cast members on the hero side.
Yeah, I mean, we got that flyer guy, we got that guy with the asshole, and then obviously like Cypher was like the main bad guy, but I don't know. I was totally cool with it. Like the show really kind of shifted gears in the middle of the season. I felt like it had some of the stuff that bothered me because it's like so in your face and like such a reminder of the real world, but it just kind of shifted it and became much more like plot driven and focused on this like superiority thing that I was really like the last 4 episodes. I was really into it.
Yeah, because this might be the best live action X-Men show we've gotten in a way.
Right. Did you ever watch that show? It was called like what the fuck was that show?
No. The Gifted.
The Gifted, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, Legion was excellent too. So I really shouldn't say it's the best, but it's always good when you get something X-Men and it's good.
Yes. I totally agree. So I feel like I've covered the things that were on my mind about these last 2 episodes, but are there things you wanted to talk about too?
Oh man, we did bounce around a lot. I guess just in terms of talking about what happens next.
Okay, good.
It seems like we see the end here where everybody kind of joins up with Starlighter and A Train, and they're part of the Resistance now. Does that mean they're all going to be like full cast members in The Boys season 5? I don't know. Does that mean they continue in a season 3 of their own after the fact? I also don't know. But I hope that we get more of this cast and these characters than the really minor cameos that like Kate and Sam got in season 4 of The Boys. Like they were there in the background like twice and maybe had a line or two. I hope there's more than that for them in the future.
Right. And going back to your point of like for people that just watch The Boys, they would be kind of confused too because Kate and Sam were like on the Homelander team in the end of The Boys season 4.
Yeah. And then, if Marie is as important as everyone's making her out to be, just her to show up out of nowhere and play this giant role and, without any explanation, in that show would be very jarring.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you brought up the A Train thing because I almost forgot, but I was like so fucking happy to see him show up at the end there.
Yeah, because he finally had that that turn to the turn generally. At the end of that last season there. And I'm guessing maybe he can even be healed now, potentially, like just like Kate and Flaherty were, because Marie's there.
Yeah. She's got a pretty badass power. When is the season 5 of The Boys coming out? Do you know?
Ooh, no idea.
Okay.
I know this got pushed back, but I mean, I wonder if I feel like lately I'm seeing more about Fallout season 2. So I feel like that's coming sooner. So I'm gonna say like maybe summer the earliest. We usually get that in the summer, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I'm down, man. Shit. Like one of the things that you and I've been talking about off the recordings is like, well, what are we gonna cover next? Because there's nothing for a while. Like when is the Spider-Man movie coming
out? It's not Christmas anymore, right? Did they push it?
Oh, probably. I'm sorry, I just keep putting you on the spot as if you're like the fucking. I usually
do remember this stuff pretty well.
Yeah.
I can just look it up. Why not? It's 2026 now. So, July 31st, 2026. The next MCU thing I think we're getting is Wonder Man. I don't think that's until January.
Okay.
I was expecting it to be December, but I think they pushed it to January. DCU. The next thing is probably Supergirl. That again, movie. So that's gonna be a while. There are things on the horizon. We will have The Boys. We do have Fallout. We will have Invincible season 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, all that stuff is either very late this year or early next year.
Yeah.
So
okay. All right. Well, yeah, we'll get creative. We'll come up with other stuff to watch. But I mean, overall, I thought that this was one of the better things that we've covered on this channel.
yeah, I absolutely agree. I really think that the if we do our top 10 again or whatever, it's going to be a tight race.
Yeah, this is going on it.
Last year too, honestly, like there was some really great stuff the last 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we do cover a lot of mediocre stuff, but then there's the things that stand out. And Amazon seems to be.
What did we cover this year that was that mediocre?
Yeah, well, I think we covered less though, but like.
I guess maybe some of the movies were more mediocre potentially.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But
we did Superman and/or I guess that Star Wars show that I can't remember the name of it. The Acolyte was this year probably, so I guess that's in there.
Yeah, that was a little rough. That's not going to be on my top 10 list this year.
I hope we did at least 10 things.
Yeah. Now you got me curious. I got YouTube pulled up. I could go scrolling through it, but that's not going to make for interesting content.
No.
For y'all over there, thank you so much for watching. We hope that you liked our review of Gen V Season 2. Brian and I were covering Alien Earth a little while ago on my other channel, the Lastercast. That was a lot of fun. We're going to try to figure out what to cover between now and 2026. But we'll get creative. I'm going to make a suggestion to Brian after we sign out. But thanks to you all so much for watching. Keep subscribe to us, and we'll make sure that we pull some more content out of our